Good early morning for Enterprise fans, unless you're in Europe, and then good afternoon. The coffee must flow. I've got caffeine. I hope you've got caffeine too. We are here for the closest seeded race of the draft that was brought to us by Direwolf and his quartet. We have on the left Blue Cat Loach, and on the right PeasantsOMFG. I am joined by the legend of the Discord Alchemy. Good, I guess, afternoon for you. You've been up a little bit longer than I have, haven't you?
Debatable. I go to sleep very late and I wake up very late. But hello everyone, and thank you, Darren. Calling me a legend. Wow.
Yeah, but now you got to do commentary. Now you're on the mic. So what do you think? What's going in through your mind here today for this race?
That I'm sleepy and I like those objectives.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to climb the two towers like this was Lord of the Rings here. Defeat the boss of Lower Babel, complete the Tower of Zot, so Earth Crystal underground access. I think the interesting thing here is Blue Cat Loach was Revenant for Zemus Zone 3. Hasn't really had the big breakthrough finish yet. Made it to 1 and 2 in the Magma group in ZZ3 and was eliminated then, so no top 32, no top 16. Peasants, on the other hand, has seen the top of the mountain, but only just has a top 4 finish, a tied for 3rd in our last tournament, Lolly Ho League. So I think he's expecting to maybe see the top of the mountain a little bit more closely this time around.
And as the audience can see, we have a seat 27 versus a seat 28. So this could be a really close match. Do you think we'll see a tie?
Don't you wish that on me? I've already lived through that this tournament. I don't need this right now. I don't need that kind of stress this morning.
I didn't wish anything. I asked a very simple question, mind you. Okay. No ties or I get bonked. I get bonked by the restream leads. Okay, I'll shush.
It's fine. Maybe we expect this to be a close race. Maybe we expect it to be a little bit less so. Again, it's a lot of experience on Peasant side. So we'll see if Cat's been doing the work on the back end where we haven't seen, to see if he's got, if he's still, holding up to that 27 seed. I think he's got that, but it comes out. A lot of it will come out in the early game here. We're starting, I believe, on Porum. I think we're starting on White Mage Hero.
It seems that way, which is a blessing and a curse. Because Porum early game doesn't have much oomph in the term of damage, but a White Mage is a White Mage, and the White Mage is always useful. It has all the utility spells you might want, plus some nice heals.
No, we're getting corrected. That's Palom. Man, they look so alike. That's
it's
actually
like twins or something.
That's actually way worse. I would much prefer Porum.
You will say that, yeah.
Well, one of the big rules of the game is there's a spoon for the Edward, but we don't have the spoon flag. One of the big rules of Sea Hero is that you don't want your DPS to be your main DPS to also be your hero, because they don't get a lot of turns even once you get into the later game, because they're your agility anchor, so it messes things up, especially in situations like this where your other character's Edward. This ain't great. Like I much prefer Porum as a hero.
I totally get where you're coming from. Palom can be nice early game in the overworld because of the strong spells he gets early, but his agility also is pretty awkward. Like, he's pretty slow, so you need a curse ring. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little messy later on.
Yeah, I think in the early game, what I really want is a bow for Edward. I want Edward to be able to deal a little bit of that early game damage. We do know Kane is in the seed, but I saw 2 blue cloaks there. I don't think that's something runners are going to be super hyped for at this point in time, because that is the football gauntlet.
Might want to wait until you've got some really good AoE on Palom before tackling the gauntlet.
Yeah, and the thing is, again, Palom's agility weirdness is not where you want to be for that, so that makes that worse, not better. So Loach is doing a loot I haven't seen in a long time, doing Baron in the Mist. This is very reminiscent of like ZZ2. or like T standard, while Peasants is in the Watery Pass, so just getting more of the standard play this tournament, but has been rewarded with nothing and a Cure 3.
Yeah, between nothing and a Cure 3. Hey, we take those Cure 3s. We have no White Mage.
This is true. We also don't know who's up on Hobbs yet, so Loach is also going to give us a first look at his shop, while I guess Peasants is going to head down to Kaipo.
I've seen people be rewarded by checking the mid shop. Just so, some nice strength gear for that Edward. Nice.
Yeah, we've got a short bow, but we have arrows here for, at least for some use in Kaipo. Troy doesn't have, or Mist doesn't have anything terribly exciting. Did pick up a bandana and a karate shirt, so gonna get, that's definitely Edward equipment. That looks like a twin in the bed, and I don't have to actually guess which one that one is now. That one has to be Porum, because Sea Hero makes your hero unique.
You bet. That's very nice. It's another thing entirely if the Sand Ruby will show up now at some recency, or if we'll show up like an hour and 50 minutes into the seed. We don't know.
Or there's just another easy Porum to get, and you don't have to think about it because she's like on top of Hobbs or something.
So what you're really hoping is to find that nice like tier 6 Artemis bow for the Edward, for sure.
I mean, heck, just give me an Elven bow. I'm not choosy. I just need something to get me through this early game. We haven't found that yet. There was like a lunar staff. We've seen a couple of silver hammers. Like, a lot of stuff that I'm real excited to get out of my inventory for money rather than hang on to for usage. So it's a little bit rough there. Peasants is going to go up to Hobbs to give us a look at that character, while Loach is down here in Kaipo. Going to find there is a curse ring for sale.
That must be what Loach was looking for, probably.
I mean, decides to dump just enough inventory to get his hands on one.
That's a Yang early game on Hobbs against Behemoth with this damage output.
Yeah, we'll see if... I mean, he's going to hide Edward. We'll see if he decides to cash out a Star Veil here or not. Remember that there are no J-items in shops, but we did find one Star Veil in Watery Pass, so we started on 3 and found a 4th. So it looks like he's intending to cash out the Star Veil to get Yang in the party. Loach finds a Great Bow in the Kaipo pot, so still not great. So Great Bow Ice Arrows is kind of what we're looking at.
I like Peasant's play because by hiding Edward, you save up on one Star Veil, and by letting Palom get down, he still gets EXP because he's the hero. So everyone in the party gets EXP, and you get through the fight really fast. So that's good.
Dwarfax is nice for us to back rogue glitch that Kane in a hot minute, but yeah, so it does get full experience out of this fight. Palom is probably time to head over to Fabul to get the free heal and take the fight there. Palom is online, but you still have that window where agility is a little janky, so you got to be a little careful. He's going to make me look like a liar though, and head west instead of east, and is going to go into Antlion Cave.
You know that little chest like south of the Hobbs exit, I always check that. It always seems to have something nice, and it takes so little time, honestly.
I mean, the big thing is it's not a screen transition. Screen transitions are always kind of notable in this game.
That is very true.
Speaking of, it's Vanilla Squid here for Cat in the waterfall boss spot, so it's going to reset out. No need to worry about that today. Peasants is going to life up his kid here, so at least wants him alive for casting Ice 2 in this next fight. Hasn't found anything in note in here. There's like a Drain Spear, a Black Sword, Sheaf of Arrows. Loach just finds an extra Star Veil and a Rune Ring, which is one of the more exciting pieces of armor for Palom because it increases his magic power. So I guess so far so good.
Yeah, look at Loach has been looting a fair amount, but I will say that it has paid off for the most part, thanks to like having enough money to cash out a curse ring, as well as finding that nice ring and the extra Star Veil. Like, Star Veils are in short supply and they come real handy.
Yeah, it's good for Leviathan, good for Wyvern, even though, you know, you don't get Mega Nuke, you might get something else you can reflect easily. Of course, Golbez. Peasants, though, did find a Stardust there in in Antline Cave, cashes out immediately, gets a hook for his troubles. Loach did find an elven bow apparently in the upper Damsian treasury, so has a real weapon for Edward now, along with like sheaf of ice arrows. Is not a bad way to get this party started. Loach, however, looks uninterested in looting out Antlion at all and is dashing straight to the bottom, just going to get those darkness arrows along the way.
Hook is very nice to see, but it also makes you very, very worried because, like, yeah, that's a character, and if in this flag set we see maybe and no dupes, you absolutely are desperate for characters, but you are really hoping that the magma key is also somewhere in the overworld because, oh boy, the hook route is rough.
I mean, the hook route is going to always be interesting. You have Yang for if you need a pile of hit points, you can grind him up really quickly to like 1200 plus. We know Kane is out there who can wield a bunch of weapons, and you know the hook character could be Edge theoretically.
Theoretically, yes, it could be Edge, or it could be a duplicate. We don't know yet.
I like seeing Edge in these flags, I'm not going to lie. Peasants does find elven bows for sale in Fabul, does not buy one. So it's just going to go ahead and head right into the next fight. Loach is going to use this bow here, hopefully to full advantage. But size is not what you want to see, because now Edward's going to do that sweet 1 damage, and now he's looking to cash out some items. Going to crack a Blizzard here, which I think that's the one that does HP scaling damage, so it's not going to do anything.
Oh boy. Kinda wishing you got that Yang for that Blizzard, huh?
I mean, or you wish you had opened up the topside boxes because you would have gotten your hands on a Stardust, which you could just cash out to win this fight instantly.
Yeah, and the Elven Bow is a really good play because these enemies are considered mage type enemies, and the Elven Bow deals extra damage against those. But you know, if you're minute, your damage is still garbage, even if you're hitting a racial weakness.
Yeah, 4 times 1 is still 4.
I think Blue Cat Loach is trying to get Edward minute again to undo the effect. Seems that way. It paid off. Nice. Nice.
There we go. Edward gets some damage rolls, and he is going to get his hook. Peasant sees that gauntlet and sees Kane behind. Is like, maybe I'll go elsewhere. Like literally anywhere else.
That fight, the gauntlet there isn't that bad. It could be way worse, but it's still a slog, and you want to get through that way faster.
Yeah, again, the power of opening just the right treasure chests to save time is kind of there, and it's always odd because you don't know which chests are going to be correct. Chat is asking, will that gauntlet give experience? Yes, gauntlet always gives you experience points. That is a given, which is always interesting because since it's a change from a non-experience giving boss, you see it at like ordeals or first spot in Baron Inn, and you actually do get bonus experience, which is nice.
Yeah, it's always very nice when you see the old gauntlet at a spot that doesn't give you XP. Ooh, both erasers are converging their routes into the Evelyn Cave, which makes sense. They both want that character as soon as possible. Wow, look at Loach ignoring the shops entirely. Both play.
I mean, on one hand, you know that there's no tier 2 use items, or there's no tier 5 use items because J items and shops are off. On the other hand, you might find a real nice weapon in the weapon shop, or, maybe like Sork shirts in the armor shop, something that's going to be real powerful. Peasants gets to the most important piece of information, which he knows where the Staleman box is.
And that's the other twin. we now know that the Sun Ruby is a very pretty but very useless rock.
Yeah, Twin Cast is available now. You have a white mage who's not anchored, but I mean she's always just a hair faster than Palom, so either at equal or agility +1 for equal levels. But that's fine. It's all right. You take a white mage here. Twin's gonna help Loach push through the mid game here into, you know, hopefully relevancy with the hook route.
If this Palom was Ruria, this would be like a reject percent party.
Ogrerak's going to be real nice for that Kane in a hot minute here. Gungnir Lance going to be just as nice, if not nicer, for that Kane because of the accuracy.
Cave Leveland has some really nice stuff, being a gated location. Peasants finding his white mage, while Blue Cat Loach keeps inspecting the treasure chest. Let's hope he doesn't take a nasty wipe to the Staleman by clearing out the chest.
I mean, looting pretty heavily. There's the Thunderclaw for the Yang that we know is on Hobbs.
You always love to see a Thunderclaw. It's like mind-blowing the numbers of bosses that are weak to thunder, and I think many enemies.
I think it's less the quantity and more how important some of those bosses are to be able to damage race, like Odin and Kainazo. So, you know, it's just high impact in fights that are otherwise bad.
Yeah, like just all three elemental claws are really useful in very different situations, which is why we call Yang the punch mage, because he only needs levels and he can hit elemental weaknesses. If you have ever heard that term, it's because of that. Well, Kainazo is weak to thunder when the wave is up, when the water is up, and it's weak to ice when it's not.
But yeah, it looks like both our runners are done looting and scooting and white maging their way through the underground here. Loach is the first out and is heading over to Fabul right now. Wants that free heal because, you know, Porum is in a bit of a is great and all, but Palom's in a bit of a trouble spot, does need that heal, so is going to try to take the full heal at Fabul. Peasants is going to head on up the mountain, has decided that Ordeals is the play first before anything else, which means I'm probably about to see a really nasty boss on the screen, aren't I? Because he's already seen the Fabul boss.
It makes sense to go up Ordeals first. It gives you some nice levels to tackle the hook route, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find, I don't know, DMS or something else that will give a Magma Key or some other character.
Ah, this is why. It's Asura. So it looks like Loach is going to set up Greyface Lock for the people in chat. What this is that if you fire an ability at the point where Asura's face flashes for the cast of a spell, so in this case, Life 1, as long as it is a spell that is fast enough or an attack, you can keep Asura locked in this Greyface state forever. This, of course, means that she only casts Life 1. This is pretty darn ideal because, you know, if she's casting Life 1, she's not healing and that kind of rules, so it's going to be a twin magic and a single shot, and then another, and that'll be that. So Loach gets through. However, oh god, it's Wyvern on top of the mountain in slot 1, and Wyvern's got Glance. That's hilarious. A non-reflectable charm effect. This is one of those nice parts where your party does no damage, right? Right.
But wait, Palom has some really strong spells. Uh-oh. That's one of the most fun, like that's one of the funniest witch burns I've seen.
And Edward was going to shoot Palom out of it, and Palom's like, I see what you're doing. How about you die?
Oh my god. Palom's ruthless. Yeah, that as as Roddy Sniper mentions, headbands do prevent confusion, I believe. But look at Loach bought like one, I think. That might be useful in this upcoming fight.
It'll keep Edward uncharmed at least. But it was the party rock for defeating that wonderful, wonderful Asura. So very well executed. And so I guess he's going to give the fans what they want at this point in time. Alchemy, are you ready to rate that treasury?
Sure.
Well, let's see what we got. Is it the goods or is it a failure?
Well, apples, runas, crystal ring.
Oh, love that crystal ring. Oh, Artemis bow, sorcerer shirt. Yeah. This has got a little bit of everything for everybody. Y'all know I love to see that. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are we at?
I like a 7 or 8.
I know, yeah. I mean, like you hit all your characters there. Artemis bow is the big get. Sorc shirt's fantastic. Runax for the cane. White spear for the cane. Runax if Sid decides to show his mug. Yeah, at least an 8, solid. Like crystal ring is real good on these flags because it lets you adjust the agility of your alternate mages. Yeah, this rules.
With the crystal ring, you can put that on Palom and put a ninja hat on Palom and get a relative agility to Zemus. I think.
There's a lot of things. Crystal ring is just real good on these flags. Like even more, like it's already good, but now it's like ridiculous.
Absolutely, and that Artemis bow is gonna make Edward really fast and hit really hard. So that's gonna come in real handy for the hook route.
Yeah, you love to see this. I think that treasury is exactly what the doctor ordered for just getting yourself through things here.
And you also got some apples. Wow. Are you gonna spend them on Edward to get his HP up to stuff, or are you gonna save them for Palom, say?
I don't know, but you got to put that Artemis bow on Eddie right now because you know he's got work to do. He's also got a bandana on Edward, so he's going to. He's probably gonna be just fine. This should be all right. Also, there was a tiara. Yeah, this rules. We got a bunch of stuff to sell. You know, I'm just blown away by how good that is. We've got peasants here working on Asura here, so also trying to set up the gray lock here. Waits for the faces to switch to gray. And is gonna get to work here.
Interestingly, look at Loach hasn't checked hops yet.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I thought headband protected against that.
No, he's got a bandana, not a headband.
Oh, I was confused. They are so similar.
Saw the wrong headpiece there. So yeah, so Edward is fast enough to get off one shot here, like straight up before things get started. It's unfortunate that those weren't like Artemis arrows, because that would have really helped a lot.
Oof. This might be like really harsh. Because you might want to have Edward with a weak bow on the start, like this. I think Edward doesn't have the Artemis bow equipped, and then swap to the Artemis bow.
Yeah, Roddy Sniper is mentioning that there is a bit of tech here. Edward can, since Edward's so fast and he can get a shot off, Edward can also go run and hide, and then not get glanced, and then let the kids fight it out for a little while, have their little sibling rivalry, and then hop back out and start shooting Wyvern. There's only one problem with that, is that Wyvern will start microwaving the party.
Yep. After the initial spell, Wyvern will put Reflect or Wall up on itself, and then reflect nukes off into the party. And let me tell you, it rarely matters where the boss is. Those nukes are always going to hurt really hard.
Yeah, basically you got to patch the party up, and then, you know, Edward's fast enough to get a bunch of shots off, which is fine. So you're going to get the damage off once everything settles out. So the fight is doable. It's just, it requires a little bit of, what's the word we're looking for here? Creativity and clutch in the moment, which is, honestly, I talk a lot about this, but like we could talk about this. I could backseat the heck out of you as a commentator. I know what's going on. I do not have the pressure that these runners are under, even in just the top 64 right now. Every series is 2 out of 3, and you know it's like always big pressure time a lot of the time.
Oh, absolutely. I don't play this game much. I'm active in the community. I have all these like FE like ideas and the theory in my head and all the strats because I just watch a lot of Free Enterprise. But the moment I sat down and played Zemus Zone 4, it's like my brain went empty. It takes so much like skill to apply that knowledge on the moment, on the fly, on all the situations you encounter. It's real tough, let me tell you.
Yeah, these flags are notorious for doing a really good job of teaching you exactly what you don't know about this game. Did the same for me when I was previewing them.
That is a very succinct way of putting it, for sure.
Peasants did not get the gray lock in, decides to buy a pair of elven bows this time, so the DPS is going to go from 0 to lots because elven bow hits a mage weakness and Asura is a mage. So gonna hope to maybe initiate the lock here. The big thing for Cat on the left here is that does have Edward, and the interesting thing about Edward is twofold here. One, he's using up samurai arrows, so gonna be using up his good arrows here, which is not always optimal. You know, MP on Palom's a little bit limited right now because you've still got to get through a second fight after this gauntlet. So you do want to save some resources for that. So it creates a lot of tension.
Yeah, and the fight after this is decently punchy for being in the overworld and pretty fast too. So it can be pretty dangerous depending on what's there.
Yeah, Peasants gets the arrows flying this time. A few shots out, and down goes Asura, so gonna get his hands on the Party Rock. I think that's a Lit 2, or that is nice 2 channel. Lit 2 would have been bad. Elect Fishes are healed by Electric, but take normal damage from Ice. The annoying thing, of course, is that Elect Fishes also have about 220 hit points.
I bet the developers of the original game were giggling to themselves when they made the Electrofish.
The really funny thing about the Electrofish that you may not know, they also fly. You cannot quake Electfish.
Of course. Why wouldn't they be flying? No, in this game. Ooh, Peasants got his at Crystal, and it's going to get the good news. I think he's also going to check shops in the meantime. Nope. wrong town.
That happens. Yeah, he's definitely going to go ahead and get his hands on the tools that he needs to do the deed here. He's going to see this treasury, and I really hope he's going to be really happy with it.
It's not a bad idea if you are making a pit stop on Troya, either because of the treasury or you are going to go up south, to check both item shops. This flag set doesn't have like the powerful J items that you might see in other flag sets, but it has life potions, cure 3s, ethers. Those are still really, really handy to have. Even heal potions can save your bacon in a pinch.
The second boss is exactly what the doctor ordered here, though. It's just some soldiers, so gonna crack some of these Thor Rages. You get to start with 10 because we want to make sure you're safe from Kainazo in a lot of early spots so that you always have a source of thunder. It's just gonna Thor Rage these soldiers to death, and then the officer is gonna be like, I had a prior engagement over in not here, and leave.
This is very nice to see. I'm sure Blue God Loach had a big sigh of relief when he saw the officer's soldier fight here.
I mean, I had a sigh of relief, and I'm not even playing.
That's very nice to find here. That nullifies the choice of, do I do Keyless Tower?
No, Keyless Tower is terrible. Don't do Keyless Tower. But yeah, that does take the worst of it out, which is good.
I think so far this seed, aside from the Wyvern with Glenn, so far it has been pretty okay. We will see what the Hook route has in store.
The big thing is Loach does put the White Spear on Kane. Maybe keep, again, like you said, maybe let's keep some weak weapons on our party for the start of the fight against Wyvern so that we don't accidentally, don't accidentally fight each other.
Do you know what is good here? The Spear. This is the moment where the Spear shines brighter.
I can't believe that we're excited about the default Spear here the year 2021.
Hey, it makes it so Kane can hit the mages and everyone and not down them in one shot. So here we are.
Both our runners do know that Wyvern is in slot 1 on Ordeals as Glance, and but the runners don't know is it stonewalled both players at this point.
Yeah, we don't know. Like the tournament one versus one meta is very real, so we don't know what they're thinking. They could be thinking, "Oh, I got wall here, I'm behind," or like, like. Player psychology plays a huge part in these highly competitive races, so it's hard to imagine what your opponent is doing and acting accordingly sometimes.
Yeah, Peasants is having no time like the present through this gauntlet here, just sort of tearing through it. Loach is going to leave a save up here because he knows what's about to deliver to his party.
We'll see how this goes. Didn't change to the Spear like I was hoping for, if only for the memes, but we'll see. There's the hide.
This time wasn't fast enough, but Kane's immune, and so he's going to try to get Kane up in the air before things get real bad.
That's a Berserk. Nice. Ugh. Oh, there it comes. The level 2 spells.
Yeah, but looks like nobody died this time, so gonna take the second to maybe recover this fight. And again, the nice spot is this spot's really, really slow.
Yeah, I think we got this.
I think he's figured out it's time to just start unloading on Wyvern and hope for the best. Here comes the wall, so magic from Palom, probably a bad idea. Gambling it out is probably a bad idea here. Gonna set up looks like a Zerk on Eddie here.
So the Twin Magic Comet does not reflect, but the Twin Magic Flare does reflect, right?
Yeah, and the thing is that the Twin Magic Comet has a 25% chance of coming out. So you have a 75% chance of just randomly killing one of your party members, which you don't want to do. Yeah,
absolutely. Was hoping to keep jumping with Kane to deal some damage, but instead got downed by the nuke. But Edward, it's really fast, and he's just going.
Yeah, tower key obtained for Peasants as he gets through. Edward catches this nuke though.
I had to open my big mouth.
You said the words, and Wyvern heard you.
Stop listening to comms, Wyvern. That's illegal.
Man, Wyvern's cheating. What is up with this? Just absolutely. Oh, you're about to take an action? No.
This is what we lovingly in the community refer to as board AI, named after our wonderful main developer Boardface.
Hey, Edward's at arrows again. Of note, when Wyvern does use Remedy, Wyvern uses Remedy when the wall falls off, so you do get a very small window that you could spellcast. Not that it matters. Kane's gonna break Wyvern's neck here from the sky, and gonna put that first objective on the board for these two runners.
Ooh, Peasants is going straight up the Tower of Assault before going up Ordeals. Interesting, I like it. Hoping for a freebie, perhaps, or something he can handle.
I mean, basically, he's got virus. He's got virus on the kid, so is gonna probably just try to ride that through up here. Boss up here has a ton of health. It's like in the 9 grand range, but maybe hoping that this party with a White Spear Cane and a White Spear Cane and Virus can just shove through whatever's here and upgrade the party some. Loach is just trying to parry around to get to Palom so that Palom can start bluffing, and then I guess it'll be Twin Magic to do the deed here to finish the job.
Hey, remember what we said about Palom being slow and being the anchor being pretty bad? Well, here you go.
I mean, plus you have like agility adjusting gear on other characters so that they're really, really fast compared to Palom. So yeah, it is kind of coming to pass here. Here's a flare. This is going to damage split. Not really what you want to see. We get 5 out of 6. So the doll's going to get 1 action before it switches over. Thor Rage, 24 damage. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Takes another action. Maybe gets lucky. Nope, this is bad.
You hate to see it.
You just needed to swing with Kane, I think, and would have been safe, but man, that's just unfortunate.
So Paladin is really doable with this party. So I think Peasants must be relieved to find this here.
Yeah, Virus is a good spell because Paladin absorbs elements, but not Virus. Yeah, 1350 is real nice. And you can Zerk Kane here as well for the damage. Even at level 10 with the White Spear is going to do some nice damage.
Maybe like you can be worried about the slow counter taking a lot of time or being annoying or slowing down the party members. But here's the thing: King can jump over the counter, and Yank can use the power command to get around the counter as well.
Loach is going to take the safety save before going in because in Sea Hero, your hero has to fight the Crystal Room by themselves. So mono a mono, 1v1, true honorable combat for this seed, everybody. Unless it's like a multi-part boss, and then there's no honor from the bad guys because they're bad guys. But here we go. Let's see what the item is that we're going to get here. It's just a crystal gauntlet, so it's a blank. The fight is orbs, so this is an awful fight for Palom before Quake.
Oh my god. Who put this here? What's up with this with this mountain? So CPU is technically a free fight per se, because as long as you can heal the attacker orbs lasers, which is a 10% reduction in HP, you can just kind of keep hitting the CPU. Thing is, CPU puts wall on itself, so rough. But hey, that's a nice bow.
Yeah, it ended up taking the bow off of Edward just in case if he needed it here. So very smart, good preparation. Just going to start flinging arrows at his troubles here, making sure to not kill the attacker by accident because, getting Lobe 199 would end single combat here. First character was a dupe Edward, and second character is Rydia. We know Leviathan Summon is for sale. I saw it. It was in the shop in Ablana. So if you want to have Rydia getting her wave on, you can do that.
Would you get Rydia? Yeah, apparently Peasants think so. He wants those reflex threats, I think. Or perhaps mixed threats, we don't know yet.
I mean, might be if this is like maybe going to kill off the Rydia for a little bit, see if this is Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, if we get that Darkness Crystal, if we have a Charm Claw, I believe, Jan can enable the McGiant grind.
Hey, did you know that sometimes Demus can show up in Zot, but this is the second spot, so it doesn't really count?
Yeah, kind of wish this was in Mago Sisters, huh?
Magus Sisters is great in this spot because they do thousands upon thousands of damage. It rules.
I don't think Peasants will have any trouble with this fight.
I mean, the White Spear does half damage to Mist Dragon, so going to switch off of it to literally anything else. Gungnir Lance is a good one. Only one problem, your inventory's full, friend.
Oh no.
Inventory boss strikes again.
You hate to see it, the inventory boss.
Has to like take a turn to burn an item out of the inventory. He's gonna use this like using a diet food. I haven't seen that before. Gonna bluff with the kids, so gonna try and get a little bit more damage here. Gonna patch him up as well, just for safety's sake.
So
Loach.
buff, for people that are unaware, gives Palom a static plus 15, I believe, wisdom, which is the black magic casting stat, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, it caps out at 99, but like it does let Palom occasionally reach some lofty heights.
It's basically a button that says press here to Stardust Rod.
More like press here to let Porm hit you in the head with a Stardust Rod.
Yeah. Ooh, look at Loach finally finding the Cure 3s he was probably looking for. Very nice.
Even with a white mage in party, it's just nice to have them on hand. Also finds charm arrows, and yeah, it's counting up to 40 here, so it looks like he's interested in getting a swath of arrows for later use. Peasants of Iris's Mist Dragon to death. Rydia is still alive here, so I guess intending to use her as a summoner and not a slingshot target. Quake's online. You know, Rydia can go get Leviathan, and Leviathan is basically a slightly more expensive Quake. Plus, you get the free item check from Rydia's mother because Mist Dragon blocks a key item.
This is what we refer to as a bonus round, because you were coming here anyways, and you just got a nice key item out of it.
And Zot was required to, so you had to come up here at some point, so now is as good a time as any. Add on a Baron key as well, so we've got the full overworld tour starting to come together for our runners.
Just like getting overworld checks down. What's next? Baron giving the Twin Harp.
I mean, that would rule.
Just like avoiding the hook route as long as possible. Just like, please be Magma, please. And just like peasants diving like this Baron key is so convenient because exiting Zod puts you right on Baron, so it's just like a no-brainer. Getting a character for free, basically.
You still gotta get through the fight. I don't know how free this fight is a lot of the time. I mean, this spot's not a ton of health because it's earlier in the plot. So, like, as fights go, this one's usually not that bad.
I mean, yeah, but having a quick Palom kind of nullifies a lot of pretty much any challenge.
Yeah, I mean, our Palom is pretty slow, though.
That's true. Fair. I'll take that.
It is a Lunar Spark, though. We have already seen Wyvern. We got Lunar Sparks on both sides. Give us a look. Loach is going to give us a look at Pale Dim, we know is there. And on the right side, we're going to see Ogopogo, who's about to take half of your life away. Give him a second.
Just you wait until you close that menu, young man.
Once you close that menu, you are in so much trouble. Yeah, Ogopogo always starts the fight with double Big Wave right off the bat. Each Big Wave takes 25% of your health assured. You don't really get a choice in the matter, so you lose between 49 and 50% of your health. And then starts mauling you with usually some pretty gnarly melee attacks, but in this spot, it's probably gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I think peasants will be okay. Which character do you want to see most from this Baron thing? Edge, I would guess.
I mean, I always want to see Edge on these flags. Stealing Sirens and Silk Webs is super utility. You can even steal Bacchus Wines from Ogres, which is kind of nice. So you get the Jadam utility if you really want it. If you don't need it, then you don't have to go get it. Edge hits pretty hard. We have a Murasame on hand already. He's pretty easily back row glitched. Has a couple of weapons that you can use to back row glitch. Best wielder of the Mute Knife. You know, overall, Edge is just a good character on these flags, as he is a good character in general.
I would like to see a Cecil. Personally.
I mean, we do have that Rune Axe, and he would be somebody who can swing it. You know, Holy Sword holders, always nice to have. Ogo gets put in the proper dumpster, though, because, you know, we hate that boss.
No probe in the trash. Who's waiting at the throne? who has hijacked Baron. Oh.
Is this Ruby or Elements?
All of them are pretty doable in this spot, I will think.
It is Rubicant who has decided to maybe try his hand at being a king instead of just, a fighter, I guess. Or I guess his chat is mentioning maybe try his leg at being king. I don't know.
Whoa, nicely timed Ice 2. Excellent work from Peasants.
It is no longer leg. You have removed Rubicant from the Baron throne and will be rewarded with the chance to root around in Baron's trash bin.
Is it a dupe? Who is it? Ooh.
It's Sid. This is okay, I guess. He's an axe holder at least. He's not a good enough axe holder for Peasants though. Sid immediately gets benched.
Depending on player preference, you might want it over media, perhaps. Like if you want some physical power and he's pretty durable, you can put the crystal ring on him to make him on par with the other characters. I don't think there's a bad choice here. Sid is pretty okay in this flexit.
Yeah. Loach decides to kill Iridia here, so is maybe setting up for a future sling. Is going to see that Baron key as well as this Mist Dragon item, so may realize he's got a couple of extra character checks in front of him at this point in time, which could yield a Tella.
Indeed. Zeus Gauntlet. That's really nice, but not a key item.
It is the nicest piece of garbage I've ever seen.
So, with this, we now have 2 key items that we know are in the moon. At least 2. Ooh, Peasants is going to challenge the hook route without having non-ordeals. Interesting.
I mean, on the one hand, we know Ordeals is a blank item. So there's a possibility that if he gets underground and starts getting objectives, he can then decide to just go kill Wyvern and skip the rest of Ordeals. It's an interesting play. Knowing the boss is there is just as good as killing it in a lot of situations. And you can do it just whenever.
Yup. And as Chad is pointing out, Peasants did not make a pit stop on Mist Village and check what the Mist item was.
There's always an argument for not being efficient and taking the moment to say, all right, I'm going to stop what I'm doing rather than go straight into Baron and check Demist immediately so that I don't forget it on my checklist of things to do, because I've done that before, and it's not a lot of fun when it's like the Magma Key.
It's easy to sleep because you fight the Demist at Sod, but then Sod gives you the Baron key, so your immediate thought is, I'm going to do Baron because I'm here, it's good routing. And by the time you're done with Baron and you have all the thought process of I'm fighting Pogo, I'm fighting Rubicant, and now I have a Seed, do I pick up the Seed, what's the key item? And then Demist is a forgotten thought in your head at this point.
Yeah, I've certainly done that, and it always makes me ache a little bit inside. It looks like Cat though is gonna decide on second thought. Ooh. Give me a sec. I was just here to shop. I'll come back in a second. You're not going anywhere, right? And Rubicant sitting on the throne going, no, I'm sitting on the throne. I'm not going anywhere.
Ooh. Look at Loach, perhaps as fearful as I am of this happening to me and just deciding to drop everything routing-wise and just check it right away.
It is just a ninja sword for the edge that does not exist in the seed. I guess it's worth 33,000 gil, but that's all right.
This is a little edge, no pun intended, that Blue Cat Loach might have had over Peasants, but sadly that's not the case. Now we know that there's 3 key items on the moon.
We also know that the first boss here at the, oh god, it's evil. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. This is terrifying. This is bad and terrifying.
This is just about one of the worst possible bosses to find here. If not the worst, it's up there.
A literal wall in front of our runners.
My oh my. So the thing with the King-Queen Airplane spot that this boss finds itself at is that it has overwhelmingly high physical attack, because the King-Queen Airplane they don't use physical attacks, they only use spells. And for some reason, there's like a bit of a rule in this game that if the boss does not use physical attacks, only use magic, for some reason the physical attack is very high. So yeah, it's rough.
The interesting thing is that if you still have Edward in your party, and you can go get Edward is waiting in the Tower of Wishes for you, Eddie can hide. And the neat thing is that if Eddie can hide, what he can then do is that Evil Wall's script requires that he attack a target. So it has to take an attack every time it moves forward. If the only target on the screen is Evil Wall will attack itself. And since its damage output is pretty darn high here, you just try to push what you can with everybody else in your party, hide your Edward, everyone else pushes out a little bit of damage, and then Evil Wall, you hope, tears itself down for you, so that you can just go walk up and roll. Loach did skip Baron, so did not do Baron Castle with that key.
It's always an incredibly satisfying feeling, just like pushing a button and having the boss like disappear, thanks to the power of hiding outside.
Yeah, I mean, Loach is gambling off right now, is taking this moment to skip Baron Castle. So on the gamble right now, so making the play.
I can respect that for sure. Like Peasants is doing the Man or Deals play, and look at Loach is doing the Baron play, and like, yeah, go for it. Getting a Blink up. Blink is a fantastic spell in the game. It's basically one of the best spells in the game, in which it gives 2 free physical hits on any party member. But is it enough? Ooh, it's looking a bit dicey for Peasants. King can jump, but for how long?
I mean, the problem with Loach is that the first character that got plugged for on his side was Edward. Edward got punched before he could get off the hide and get off the screen. So bad times all around for our runners here.
Like, sure, King can survive the punches, but then
can't survive that. Wall falls on you. That kind of sucks. Loach is gonna curse up his Palom at this point in time, understanding that Palom doesn't matter in this fight.
Yup, this is like curse ring. Yeah, that's a good call.
So gonna try to get good agility for these fights, which is kind of useful because the spot is notoriously fast as well. Peasants is like, I got better things to do. I'm gonna go literally anywhere else.
I wonder if he's going to go back to Ordeals to try and do that, to find like another character or something.
Like, is gonna Zerk up Kane here. Let's see, does he know hide strats? Does he know that if Edward takes a dip off the side here? Yeah, he does. Edward's going away. He's gonna use the Bacchus wine he got on Kane to try and push a little bit. Edward gets hit, but not for enough to die, so that's great.
That's fair, because while the wall will punch itself, you want to make sure that when Eddie comes out, it's like one hit at most. If Eddie comes out, like, you don't want Eddie to take a punch, basically.
I mean, I think the big thing here is you want the wall to punch itself, so you don't. These blinks may be counterproductive, honestly. But yeah, Kane's hitting for 1,000. I can't argue with 1,000 damage a swing here. Let's be real.
I don't know about blinking the mages, but blinking Kane to make sure that the wall punches itself for enough damage, thanks to the Berserk, I can get behind that.
Well, the big thing is he's just blinking his character so that Kane can continue swinging away here. Basically is relying on Kane to damage race this wall, which makes a lot of sense as well, because, again, he's hitting for around 1,000 swings, so it's only going to take 6 swings to do the job. We did get a virus from the kid as well, so we did get that damage in as well, so should be fine. It's, just a matter of, again, how you want to use your resources and take on these fights. And any dead boss is a good boss. So through the wall, we know the second boss here is a Mylan variant. Probably goes back and saves before this, though.
Mylon variants tend to be pretty okay, especially with Palom, but even without Palom, you've got like White Spear Cane dealing holy damage, so it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, if it's Mylon Z, it's actually 100% free in that spot because the melee damage in that spot is pretty low.
So Peasants remembered the demons, that's why he walked out, and then saw the ninja sword, and then reset back into Babel.
I mean, at least he didn't get the saddest magma key of all time.
Yeah, for sure. Just Mylon Z. Or Mylon Z.
I can't believe that Kane is gonna stick this white spear directly up Mylon's nose right now.
He does seem to have a really big nose, so maybe it will even fit.
I mean, 2,000 damage a swing, that'll get us through this in about 13 swings. Also, Bo's pretty good in this fight as well. Mylon also, interestingly enough, to get him to be Quake immune, just in case if you decided to grind your kid to 23 in vanilla. Mylon floats, so Mylon takes quad damage from arrows and spears.
So there is no earth element in this game at all. Quake just deals non-elemental damage. So to make the elemental fiend immune to Quake, you just make him fly, which fair. Well, honestly, okay, I can buy it. Wow, Peasants just like got Leviathan and said, okay, bye. No more wall for you. I don't care about this wall.
Yeah, while Loach is literally just machine gunning through this fight as fast as is possible with double Zerkers here. So this should be over in a flash here.
Yup.
Cursed Ring paying off. Having good agility is really what matters a lot of the time, especially when your physical damage is your main damage output, not your magical damage. The Mylon Z is going to take the rest of the seed off. He is dead as a doornail. And Loach is going to get underground at sub an hour here, which is honestly for this hook route and the way the seed's played out so far, pretty good.
I will agree with that for sure. So interestingly enough, both, like as previously mentioned, both our racers have both fitted a check. Peasants has to come back there at least for the Wyvern up in Monterey, and while Blue Cat Load has not checked Baron. We will see how these decisions like pay off in the long run, if any of them decide to come back to like full clear these locations, or just like decide to just keep fitting them. We will see.
And of course, Cat's going to look at the old top of the tower here and see a sea serpent of his own up here. Speaking of sea serpents, Peasants has Rydia online with the Leviathan that he picked up, so is going to go ahead and let that rip. But has a momentary lapse and forgets that Mylon is flying. This happens in the heat of races. I think I've seen very many good runners decide it's time to cast Quake on Mylon Z, myself included. I'm going to assume I'm a good runner, at least, when I played seriously.
Thing
but
is,
yeah, it happens.
Quake is a really strong spell, so I don't blame them.
But Cat's decided, hey, I know that Objective 4 is up here at the top of the tower. I'm going to make this climb.
It's an objective, plus you already have the tower key. You get Darkness Crystal from like any of this, you're good. That's go mode.
Yeah, then you got to figure out how you're getting your levels.
Would you do a Mag Giant grind?
There's 6 behemoths on the moon, and they're worth a bunch of experience, but I like doing those with 10 key items, so like some sort of lunar subterrane grind would be my consideration, but it would also be it would be a little interesting in how people decide to play that out.
Yeah, because you do not have the 10 key items, so I wonder if the play will be, I get 10 key items and then I like do the lunar subterrane bosses and get enough the experience just scrape by Zemus. Like the HP values aren't there, but if you nerf the big bangs, you can defeat Zemus at low levels. We'll see.
Yeah, chat is chiming in on their favorite grinds. I know people have mentioned it. You got people mentioning they've done Mac Giant grind. People are like, hey, 3 of those behemoths are in scattered boxes. It's a pain. Look, I've seen runners win races due to deciding it's time to go ahead and open some LST boxes. So, you know. But yeah, Peasants is through, maybe about 3.5 minutes behind, probably about the length of that Baron check, honestly, as he is going to make his way to the Underground in a moment here as well. The Sea Serpent is doing work right now here. Leviathan is going to lead off with the wave and then starts Ice 2ing the party. In this spot doesn't have much damage output at all, be it physical or magical, so, you know, this is fine.
We will see if Peasants also decides to do the same play and immediately going up the lower battle, or if he's going to maybe, I don't know, check the freebie at the land of some monsters, or check Jang at the Sylph Cave. We will see if there's any divergence.
There's a lot of good plays to be had here, but yeah, Lip 2 berserking the gentleman, getting them swinging, and otherwise just going to use Cure 2 to patch up the wave damage, because that's really the bulk of it at this point in time. And this Leviathan will be a little bit slow, but should be pretty academic at this point.
I think Palom is still cursed, but that doesn't mean that he can't put out some real good damage. Yeah, I think Blue Cat Loach is fine. This won't be an issue of a fight. Ooh, Peasant's going to pop some Sirens, I think.
I mean, Siren singular, but I guess wants a little bit of the extra experience here.
Ooh, I thought it was 2. Never mind. I like this play. Like, the Freedom Kit gives you 1 to 2 Sirens for a reason, and this is it.
Yeah, I mean, 3 levels on everybody, you're like, that's not a lot. No, it's a lot, and then it's 7 levels on Rydia, which really matters here. Loach is going to finish up the boss of Lower Babel, and is going to get a very trolly Magma Key, but he's going to take it out. It's nice to get the key item, honestly. It pushes us out to 6 at this point. But again, more importantly, bulb number 4 is going to light up as he is one objective, i.e. a Darkness Crystal or both halves of Forge, away from go mode. Taking a very rarely seen safety save, doesn't want to refight the long Leviathan in case something actually scary like Golbez shows up in the cannon room.
Yeah, honestly, Fair. Absolutely. That spot takes so long. The top of tower. So absolutely respect the save. It's the other Mylon. Wow.
I mean, you need the zombies to man the cannons. That's how this works. So it's Mylon and 4 pals to man the cannons.
There's only 3 cannons, so I wonder if they take turns.
I mean, 3 to man the cannons and 1 to be extra parts for the other 3 zombies.
Yeah, fair. Anyway, this spot is a non-issue. So you kind of hate seeing Mylon and friends here and not on the moon, but what can you do?
But yeah, there'll be another key item check here on the way out. Again, runner's Darkness Crystal is go. Everything else is just something to do.
Like, it in a way, it's kind of nice in quotations, because it's basically the seed telling you what to do. If you keep getting key items down chains, you just do them and you get 10 key items eventually. But if it's Darkness Crystal, that's the seed telling you to just go. Like, you aren't going to keep sticking around and doing more checks just to get the 10 key items at this point with just 6. So we'll see what happens. Peasant's Party has some more power thanks to Rydia not being down. And
yeah, Leviathan
being really powerful.
Leviathan matters, especially if you want to curse ring Palom, because then you still have a sweep caster.
Yep, absolutely. We will see what Blue Cat Loach gets in reward for the Super Cannon room.
Ah,
Ooh,
it's a twin harp.
that's. Do you hope that Twin Harp is buried somewhere in the moon with nothing behind it? in this flag set.
I mean, you know, everybody in chat loves the musical stylings of Edward, but runners, it's a long cutscene. Runners hate it, it feels like. Seen so many harp fades this tournament at this point in time that I'm just like, I guess it's a harp. I'm gonna go do literally everything else, and if it's the darkness crystal, so be it.
Yeah, the harp has a wonderful but very lengthy cutscene. So going to the harp is a commitment, and that's a commitment that you want to pay off, but you don't know if it's gonna pay off because it's a randomizer. That's how it works.
Yeah, getting the pass is really interesting as well. I don't know if that pushes our runners to stay underground or go moonward as soon as possible, especially given the state of these flags. Also, there's no reason to check the bosses down here. You know, and I know, and we all know where Wyvern and Miss Dragon are, so on second thought, don't need to check that.
I personally would still check it because it will tell me what two bosses are not on the moon, and that can be valuable information.
Also, if I see
not required by any means.
It's not at all, and yeah, information matters. Also, if I see King and Queen Evelyn there, I know I can patch up my party and just grab a quick free pile of experience in a stretch break. And experience does matter.
Yeah.
Getting every little bit does help.
Yep, especially on that area. I think like Blue Cat Loach is like desperately trying to search for that darkness crystal, just hoping that the freebies will be nice, like nice enough to just hand over the darkness crystal.
And now Cat's gonna do my favorite thing, because Did Tower first does have the Enterprise underground, so it's gonna use the Enterprise to drill out.
Forge cannot be in King and Queen of Salmons because we don't have the K Salmon flag on. It's a bit weird in a tournament, but for multiple reasons, K Salmon is not on, so Salmon monsters will never have a key item.
We also know that the moon is vaguely haunted because we've already got Wyvern, Zot, and Lower Babel here on Earth. Sheila 1, does she have the goods? I mean, I guess if we're looking for a bucket, it's good.
That's four key items up in the moon. That's almost the full lunar subterrane. Wow.
Now Cat's got the difficult decision here. We got Dwarf Castle underground. You've got Harp up top, and you've got the Baron Key that you faded earlier. What do you do?
This is darkness behind Twin Harp, isn't it?
It's probably a Dwarf Castle.
Oh, Dwarf Castle. All right, that exists. Gee whiz.
But either way, Cat is going to decide to fix the fade from earlier, so is going to go to Baron, which we know is just a Zeus Gauntlet. And Sid, if you're really excited about Sid, I'm not. But hey, you got an Artemis bow. Sid's not that bad.
Yeah, Artemis Samurai Arrows Sid does some really, really comparable damage to some endgame fighters.
Chat really wants to see Harp.
I mean, I get it. Some wonderful tunes by our music developers, Camlamity and Xenocat. Wonderful, wonderful harp renditions of video game songs you know or may not know, but you do love them because they're very good arrangements. I think Peasants has the same mentality of, I'm just going to check places, hoping for the Darkness Crystal.
I mean, a lot of this is going to be decided by when you get the Darkness Crystal and how good you feel, because you still got to get levels. Like, you know, run's not over with the Darkness Crystal. The run really, I think, feels like it's just starting.
Absolutely. Like, I can just imagine being peasants and thinking, if Darkness Crystal is behind Wyvern at Ordeals, I lose. I just lose. Like, there's a high chance I lose. So it's just having the fortitude to just leave that aside and just say, I'll come back here when I'm stronger and I can just like blow through that Wyvern without issue. It takes a lot.
Yeah, and Peasants is not interested in. Is Peasants not interested in Ordeals, or is he like gonna maybe go there after this check? Edward's out of arrows again, by the way.
Oh boy. He should be fine in this fight. This fight is pretty non-threatening.
I mean, or you just cast Quake, one or the other.
Yeah, you will think with how this game operates that though Pogo was floating for whatever reason, but he's not, thankfully. Peasant's getting his samurai helmet. Oh boy, I'm sure he's thrilled.
Super excited to be walking that one out.
So it's either Dwarf Castle or Twin Harp. Is Peasants going Twin Harp? I think he is.
Peasants wants the music. Peasants is going to be the people's hero right now.
Yup. There is I mean, not a high chance, but there is a chance that this is a terminal key item, and everything else is behind Darkness Crystal at Dwarf Castle, and all 5 Lunar Subterranean altars have key items. It's not an impossibility that the moon is just loaded.
Yeah, but it's loaded with stuff we absolutely have no need for.
Yup. It's possible that it just has a package, it has a legend, the pink-tailed, and the sand ruby, and you're like, wow, this moon was loaded, but I don't need any of this stuff.
Alright, well, so Cat's fate is fixed, but it's not going to get anything for his troubles unless he really wants Sid. I mean, Zeus Gauntlet's nice. People are talking about Mac Giant grinds, and, you know, it does give you protection from giants.
And considering that Blue Cat Loach keeps having the Redia down, hoping for that huge slingshot that will get her to nuke in a single grind, it's possible that he will be very happy seeing that Zeus Gauntlet.
Decides it's time to bench Edward. Decides to take Sid. But speaking of Edward, getting off the bench to give us some music.
No, we will not talk over the music. I hope. That was nicely done from Peasants. Getting through that Plague fight without a single issue.
Spears are nice. They do quad damage because Plague is flying. But yeah, we got a loop of greens from multiple Kirby games. Probably one of the most identifiable Kirby songs. Hey, it's a box. You got a box.
Oh my god! Did you even check the character? No, right?
Absolutely not. There's no way that you're going through that. You know that the Darkness Crystal or the route to the Darkness Crystal is absolutely a Dwarf Castle. Like, there's no character I think I could realistically take here at this point.
Not even Edge? Would you take Edge?
It's so long. It's just too long here.
Yeah, and we don't have a boss check that could be a cheeky at Kaipoeng. Yeah.
I mean, you would gamble it if you think that Edge could save you time in your grind. Right, where your mindset is. Yeah. Your mindset is that I didn't get Edge at Dwarf Castle, or I didn't get Edge at Dwarf Castle, maybe Edge at Package can actually net save me time.
Like, Mech Giants is rather slow, and it's also kind of dangerous. I mean, this setup is really good because you have a Blink Caster, someone that can hit giant weaknesses, and giant resistance equipment. So it's pretty cool, but it's dangerous and it takes longer than the machines. So I can see an argument for being like, okay, I'll take the Edge. I don't mind taking the Edge from Package. But in Blue Cat Loach's side, he's hoping to do a Rydia Slingshot. So even then.
Either way, first boss Mom Bomb for Peasants here.
As usual, Mom Bomb. Just letting you all enjoy the music again because Kirby is really good. And Blue Cat Loach is through his Plague fight, only to be rewarded with a box.
Yeah, Peasants not finishing ordeals, I think, gives him a slight bit of an edge. With the pass, he can also leave Wyvern until he's done the Cave Bahamut spot and done his grind. But he does have to remember he's got to go do it to get his crystal, though, so can't just leave that there forever.
What if he does Luna Subterrane and he gets Forge and just like completely fades Wyvern and just like, okay, I'm never touching Wyvern ever again?
I mean, that would be really wild because he knows Wyvern's there. He's seen it. He walked up there and got obliterated a couple of times.
Yeah, but if you wanna clear the, I mean,
you clear the moon for experience and then come down. You clear the moon for experience, so you do like ribbon spot and get like the double Forge at ribbon spot or something. That'll never happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
That feels like such a poor play.
I don't say it's a play. I'm just saying that if you're already there getting experience, it could happen.
Yep. Thankfully, we saw Baigen as the second boss here, so single Quake, it will usually just do the deed pretty quickly. It's a very low hit point spot, and the hit points get split up, so you can just drill down all three of them pretty quickly. So no problems for Peasants. We'll see how Cat handles the business here, and we're going to see an item, a very important item, because we know it's either like Pan, Rat Tail, or Blackrock, or Luca Key.
We will see.
Oh, it's just it's just straight up Blackrock. We know there's a ton of key items on the moon. Dwarf Castles are go mode. Both our runners did music anyway.
Yep. There's at least 4 key items in the moon. None of them you probably really want at this point, to be fair. Maybe Luca key to do like a door grind to get some quick EXP out of the way, but even then.
Have you considered fading the harp?
Have you considered the nice words of fading harp? Yeah, with 9 key items, you do want the crystal to get 10 key items before doing the grind, absolutely. Look at Loach has less damage output than Peasants, but I think he'll be fine with his Mom Bomb, I think.
Yeah, he may not get the push through. He may not get. Oh, did get the push through, but barely. Okay.
Nice. Even when he's got the Rydia down, while Peasants has been like casting Leviathan left and right, look at Loach has been doing comparably well in the damage department.
Yeah, both runners are now also in the really interesting spot that they both have 9 key items. So now you've got to check Bahamut Cave. I know Chad is mentioning it, Ground Flyer is mentioning it. Then it's a smart play is that the crystal is your 10th key item.
Oh, reminder that Look at Loach never checked hubs. So this is the first Yang he sees.
Decides to skip up on it, which is interesting. So, we'll see how that plays out.
I like how the parties are different. What, Peasants hoping for a Cecil maybe, or something of that sort. Even Edge, yeah. Let us hope that this Bahamut spot boss is kind to the racers. Let's go. Meanwhile, look at Loach getting the good news that there is a really nice rock around Lucas' neck. I think the Darkness Crystal will look great around, like as a nice pendant, honestly. It looks really shiny, kind of like goth. That was so fast. Was that Luge? Chat, please help. It probably was, considering Peasants is making appealing at it. Oh, Balbalis? No. I guess we have Blinks, but and a Cane. Yeah, Blinks and a Cane. This is perfectly doable. It just like might take some finesse. It will still be pretty rough. Like, this spot in the game is tied for the highest physical power in the entire game. This will down anyone without armor and in the back row as apparent. So the thing with Waval is that you can jump on top of the tornado with Kane to make her remove herself, like to remove the tornado. But the thing is, when Valvalis removes the tornado form, she punches. So if you time the jump wrong, she will punch while in tornado form, then get out of the tornado and punch again, which is what happened in Peasant side. This fight is tricky, even with Kane.
I mean, also, like you mentioned, as you can see, that she is just absolutely just mauling characters left and right, which is not a good time for anybody involved.
Yeah, this is a fight where maybe you want to set the blinks up before jumping, but then you miss out on the damage, right? And you have Rydia getting through the magic defense, like doing way more damage when Valvalis is not in the tornado. So it's a tough call.
Yeah, our characters are strong enough that they can get through the defense, but it's not really optimal.
But as long as you time the jumps well and you get the blink, you can avoid the double punches, which is the real problem here.
Hey,
Yang is a good target.
Did Yang just get punched for 3,000 damage?
You bet he did. But Yang being punched means that Rydia can get a 2k Leviathan in, which is real good.
I mean, the other thing is Rydia is about to turn into a brick. That Ice 3 is real big.
Perfectly timed Ice 3 from Peasants. Wonderful to see.
Yeah, even gonna cast heal here on Rydia just to keep her up and going.
Very, very good. Level 3 elemental spells are really, really strong, but they take absurdly long to cast, so timing them can be a real challenge. Ooh, what's Cat's going to buy? Oh, more charm arrows. Oh, he's going to do Mag Giants right away.
Yeah, he's gonna go get his grind. So yeah, gonna try to make the safe play.
So he might just go up to the moon, defeat Valvalis, and then grind, probably. We'll see.
No, he's manipulating. He's setting up now.
Ooh, grinding with 9 items, huh? All play.
I mean
that whatever here in Bahamut is nasty enough that with the levels he makes up for it, and it is so nice.
I mean, kind of. I mean, Rydia's doing enough damage here, it feels like, but yeah, not getting through this in any sort of speed.
Yeah, this is a really like methodic, slow fight. Like, yeah, the damage is there, but it's not happening often. We will see what happens with this grind difference. We look at Loach got the encounter he wanted, it seems, and it's off to get the Ship of Light from the moon, the big whale.
Yeah, I think the big thing here, though, is that Peasants is going to get through this fight, it looks like, right? Is running a little thin on life potions, and Kane is not in great shape, but he's got the blinks going. And that jump is going to finish the deed here. So a very methodical but effective fight. One problem, Peasants does not get the crystal from this. He has not killed Wyvern yet.
Nope, he needs to go back. He needs to go back to Wyvern and then up into Giant, perhaps? We'll see what the grind he's got in mind is. Yeah, there's the giant killing equipment.
Peasants fires off his crystal. I think he remembered, hey, maybe I should go kill Wyvern to death.
Yup, you bet.
We're rooting for you, Peasants.
But we'll see.
I mean, you're so much faster than Wyvern is now that you should just embarrass Wyvern.
Yeah, you should probably be able to get some good hits in and deplete the what is like 2k HP or something like that.
And it'll only take a couple of those to finish the job. So he's running up to go kill Wyvern. We see it's a Mac Giant. We found Mac Giants.
Does he full clear ordeals at this point?
he should know that his crystal, if he's been tracking correctly and is doing the math like we're doing the math up here in the booth, he'll know the crystal is number 10. There's no reason to finish the Mountain of Ordeals.
Yep, I agree.
Just go grind.
Oh boy, these Mag Giants punch real hard, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, they mean business. This is not a free grind by any stretch of the imagination.
Oof, and Sid hitting the alert for 1k damage. You gotta be careful with that. You don't want to kill the searcher early, otherwise your grind is toast. Yep, Wyvern good. So we'll see what kind of grind Peasants decides to do. Yeah, like, the stage is set for a Mag Giant, even though Peasants doesn't have that set. So we'll see. Like, I wonder if Blue Cat Loach got the set on purpose just to have another powerful, like, giant hitting member of the team. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, so now Peasants is here. Peasants is going to set up Manip for grind, so both are runners, or nope, going in for an in-stay first. Yeah, wants to heal up.
That's fair, honestly. Easy to forget. You don't want to start the grind and then have the Mag Giant punch Poro in the face and then immediately end the fight. So now that both our racers are deciding to start their grinds, I would like to take a moment to talk about the wonderful racing team that we got up here really, really early just to put on a wonderful show, and we will not be able to do it without the wonderful community members Nate D, Firebear Lover, and I'm enjoying on the booth by Demering, who's been doing a killer job. So thank you, everyone, and thank you for watching. Am I the only one that thinks it's a little funny when characters in the overworld pace back and forth repeatedly? It looks a little wonky, doesn't it?
I mean, the change of direction can be a little bit odd because it always starts the turn animation on frame 1 of whatever the standing walking animation is, so it can occasionally be odd.
Yeah, as Sticker Smash points out in chat, Peasants has to decide whether or not he wants to take Iridia to nuke or not. Look at Loach has a slingshot, but Peasants has double EXP. So it might balance out? Question mark?
Probably. I mean, the big thing is that, yeah, Peasants is kind of in a spot where he may not take Iridia to nuke, but this party kind of demands that you take Iridia to nuke because your DPS is a little weird, especially if you decide to anchor your Palom instead of using your Palom. You could be reliant on 2 physical damage dealers that just aren't very good, which is a bit problematic.
Yeah.
Like Kane is fine, but either Sid, Edward. I mean, Yang's not suboptimal. Yang's good. Like maybe he's going to be relying on the Yang Kane combo here. Do maybe like 6 or 7 Mag Giants and call it a day and do a real short grind.
It's possible. As we have seen time and time and before in this tournament, thanks to the agility and the low levels you can get in this flag set, Zemus fights can be a little awkward. And let me tell you, you don't want to get a wipe to Zemus. That takes so long.
I still think Peasants, having made the play to get the 10th key item to get his crystal, I still think the optimal grind was to do 3 behemoths.
Honestly, fair.
Peasants has to reset. He got the wrong fight.
Oh no, he has to do the Manipa gang. Ugh.
Yeah.
That's gonna like even though he has the double EXP from Denki items active, that's gonna take cost some time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like trying to chase up a grind this way. Like, Yang can punch through Behemoth pretty quickly at this level. And you're not committed to grinding before what it's going. I think Loach is gonna be very happy. He was a very difficult fight. Peasants is just having a hard time getting this manipulation as well. So this is just time that's getting poured into the sky at this point.
I've never done the Mac Giant manip, but I kept hearing time and time and again that it's pretty nasty to set up, and this is like showing that. Like Blue Cat Loach has been wanting this slingshot since like what, minute 40 or something, or minute 30 in the Sid. So it makes sense that he's just going for it, but maybe Peasant doesn't need that, like you said. But that's a grind maybe he feels like the most comfortable on, or he thinks it's nicer on his team, maybe to get Rydia to higher levels more easily or confidently.
Yeah, so, comfort matters a lot. I will say that right now. Like, oftentimes you make a decision based on being comfortable and what feels like the right thing to do because you're used to doing it. And so, yeah, if he's much more comfortable doing this grind, I admit part of my joy of doing Behemoth is I'm incredibly uncomfortable doing Mac Giant grinds.
Yeah, like it's gonna take you longer to do an optimal grind you don't feel comfortable with or you're not familiar with than doing a suboptimal grind that you know like the back of your hand. So
I mean, I've been grinding Behemoth since 2019, so it's just that's normal for me at this point. Peasants has taken another reset, didn't find the fight again, unfortunately, and so now he's in a lot of trouble, it feels like, as he is just trying to manip it up.
You gotta watch the Giant do that silly stompity stomp walk over the mountains every single time. That's rough. Has anyone in chat been keeping count of how many Mac Giants? Because I sure haven't.
I also haven't been keeping count, unfortunately. I'm very bad about that.
But it seems like that Blue Cat Loach has this fight down to a science. He's just like keeping the damage rolling and getting the Searcher to pop up the next one, keeping Blink up at all times. Very nice. Very comfortable with this grind right now.
Yeah, just with the 3 characters, it's easy to keep Blinks going, so it's just keeping Blinks going really easy and just smashing away with this collection of 99 arrows and an axe.
As long as Blue Cat Loach is careful to not destroy the Searcher before he's done with the grind, he should be okay.
Yeah, it would be very bad to accidentally destroy the Searcher with Rydia dead.
Yep. It has happened. You gotta be careful. Like you easily like autopilot and just like press the buttons, and then you get into a rhythm, and then Kane high rolls, and you have queued up Sid, and things get dicey.
Yeah, I mean, the way to avoid that is just you make sure that you life potion Rydia before finishing the job. A lot of it is just knowing how much damage you need to do to it, and like Kane jump with White Spear will do the job probably. Yeah, lifing Rydia, I think he's done. I think he's decided it's over and done time.
Like I think Sid accidentally already shot the Searcher for 1k HP earlier, so it's good to be careful.
I mean, that's honestly kind of optimal. Here, gonna channel out stop to make sure that does not get, just to make sure this is correct. This is really good. Gonna put the Searcher on temporary lockdown here so that he can get a couple of shots in and not have to worry about the Searcher resummoning. Chat saying this is probably in the 15 to 16 range. I did not keep count. I apologize. Kane jumps for 1827. Maybe it's time to recast stop for safety's sake here. Yeah, nope. Gonna cast Quake. Gonna go for the finish here.
Cool. Did Peasants finally find the fight?
He did.
Yep, there it is. Nice.
576,000 experience. So Rydia is going to get 1.1 million here.
That's Nuke.
That's everything. Yep, third tries the charm for Peasants here. He's got the Mac going here now, so he's going to start patching his party up.
So Peasants needs less EXP than Blue Cat, I mean less Mac Giants that Blue Cat Loach needs, but he has failed to get the grind 2 times, so we'll see how this matches up.
I think the rough thing is that if he wants Nuke on Rydia, though, he's got to do basically the same amount.
Oh, right. You're absolutely correct, because Rydia got slingshotted on Loach's side. Oh.
But yeah, so Cat just needs to go up onto the moon now and embarrass Volvalis in direct combat.
Yup. Like while Peasants had like a very clinical, slow, methodical fight, it was still like it took a little while. Pretty sure Blue Cat Loach is going to like blow right through Volvalis.
I mean, that is the hope, honestly. Is that he could just ignore the jumping and just, you know, zerk the boys and just mash through it without thinking about it and drop some nukes and be done.
Yup. I'm pretty sure that Nuke Rydia will absolutely get to the tornado in this form. Because Leviathan was doing it on Peasant side, and Rydia has less levels, so level 51 Rydia. If you still have the apples from like the 2 apples from the Troya treasury, you can just feed them to Rydia and get Rydia right up to big man levels.
I think you end up giving them to Porum for safety, to just in case if you have to recover the fight into double Zerker plus Porum.
That's fair, honestly. Fair. Yeah. Both things are good for sure. Let's see what kind of fight Blue Cat Loach has against Volvalis. Probably not very happy to see her here, but maybe also happy because he decided to do the grind in order to tackle whatever nasty boss was here, and this was a nasty boss. We don't know what's going through his head, but maybe he's hoping that his opponent did this earlier and had a bad time with it, so hoping to make up the time. We don't know. We have to ask later.
It'll be real interesting, but the jump goes off, so now it's going to get full damage here. And so it's just going to decide to really hit these big spells now.
Ooh, 9,000 damage. But Volvalis retaliates with a 7,000 damage punch.
Volvalis is not interested in anything other than ruining you right now.
But Nuke is an instant cast spell, so it's easy to time it when Kane jumps.
Yeah, it looks like though that Cat's not agility anchored right now. So Volvalis is literally and figuratively flying at this point. But that nuke just hits for 6k right through the defense. Like, it just ignores the fact that, you know, she evades some of it, but not enough of it to actually make a difference.
Yeah, I will personally not be jumping with Kane, but I think the strategy is valid, especially when Sid can take punches because he has a massive HP pool.
Either way, this is a good setup, and Nuke is a good spell, so should be fine.
Rydia's carrying this fight. There it is. It was over so fast, so much faster than Peasant's fight.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to get that time back and then some. Going to get his Dragoon Lance, not that he needs it. Going to get his Crystal. He does need that.
So it is faster to exit out of this cave and then go back to the overworld and use the pass, right? Plus the saving outside the Troya in case the Zemus fight goes poorly, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is always correct to go back. You don't want to do, it's like a 3-minute walk down to Zeromus from the top. So the fastest play, if you're not grinding anymore, is just to go straight back down to Earth and go fight Zeromus with your big whale. Swag fly over.
Yep. Thankfully, the pass wasn't an easy to find location, like the Fame March free chest. So it's only like look at Loach has the levels, has the pass. It's only a matter of flying the huge lunar whale up into Troya, landing it correctly, and finding Zeromus.
I mean, feeling pretty confident, gonna go ahead and, yeah, landing at Troya. I think he's decided that he doesn't need anything else. Well, it is about that time, Alchemy. We've reached the end of our time together, we hope, at least for Loach's sake.
Yeah, we're seeing some cute flags in the chat with a big C and a question mark. I think we all got up kind of early. Is chat telling us to go to nap? Just like have a nice rest.
No, we're full of coffee. We're feeling good. We're feeling nice. We're feeling ready. We're feeling great. Y'all know that there's like 500 plus Zeromus sprites in the pool because y'all are waving the flags. It's time for the most important question for Enterprise. It's even before noon. That's right. Whose butt are we going to kick this morning?
It's not tonight. It's this morning, this time.
Unless you're in Europe and then it's this afternoon. It's still not nighttime. That's fine, though.
Correct. So, because Zeromus has a very complex script, has some really powerful spells, it will make going through some boss spots probably literally impossible. We don't randomize the Zeromus location, but instead we randomize what he looks like. It has, like Demarin said, so many sprites from so many video games and not so video games. And my favorite way of saying it, like some people say, is butt cute, does it have a butt, and such and such and so on. But my favorite is coined by community member Alicel, is what is Zeromus cosplaying as tonight? This morning in this case.
Well, either way, we're going to find out in just a second. There's the crystal. Brady's going to fire this one off.
Peasant seems to have hit a stride on the grind too in the meantime, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, using Rod to break through for like 8 damage and get the summons, which is great.
Gerg. Nice. It's your boy Edgeworth.
Edgeworth is not my boy.
Fair, okay. He will update the autopsy report just in your face.
All right, so we've got set up here. So we're going to see Kayn Berserk, Sid not yet Berserk. Starveil is going to be on Palom. Palom only has level 3 elemental spells, which are still pretty good. Plus, you can cast them to get him out of the queue. There's the first shake, so decently fast, but is going to... I think this is a direct nuke for the sake of getting the nerf on the first Big Bang.
Hopefully it goes to Sid.
You're hoping it goes off the wall. Sid is fine too. Kayn's less great, but you're going to queue this Cure 4 instantly and try to get Kayn patched. Oh, jeez. Ow. Hey, yeah. Kayn, that looked like it stung a little bit. Yeah, there's the Cure 4, and then gonna use Ice 3 to get Palom out of the queue for a little bit and do some damage here. So, you know, gonna be useful.
Like we mentioned earlier, tier 3 elemental spells are really strong, but they take a long time to cast.
Yeah, they're some of the longest delaying spells in the game. But that's the power of nerfing the first Big Bang here, only doing, 800 damage to everybody. So Sid, fine. Kayn doing all right. The kids are hurting no matter what happens here. So
the kids are alright. They'll be fine, I'm sure.
I mean, Cure 4 is going to go off. It's going to heal everybody except for Palom, which is always a bit awkward. So, but yeah, going for a very, very steady and safe fight here.
The process of nerfing a Big Bang, if you're a new viewer, is that when you cast a spell on Zemus, he will counter by using Nuke. Thing is, when he cues Big Bang, he sets his spell power pretty high, but Nuke is such a strong spell that he lowers his spell power down for the counter. So if you can squeeze in a counter right when Zemus shakes and cues up the Big Bang, and then it comes out, it will make the Big Bang half as powerful, pretty much.
Yeah, ends up delaying a moment here to just make sure that he can try to get the nerf off using the crystal with Sid. Decides it's time to maybe pop a Cure 3 onto Rydia here for safety's sake. Needs to Cure 3 Palom as well if he wants to keep the wall around. We will see Black Hole after the second Big Bang, which will wipe out the one Zerk plus the one wall here. Kayn is swinging for about 2,500, 2,000 to 2,500 here, so not tremendous damage by any stretch, but did push over the first phase transition, did get the health refill, which is why we got the reshake there. Will need to re-nerf as well. So kind of needs to like reset himself here and has to decide if it's time to maybe just start channeling back some big spells again. Is going to fire the crystal to try and get this Big Bang nerf on this third Big Bang here. As Peasants is taking his walk down. So now it is a wipe away at this point in time for... It is now a wipe away at this point in time for Loach to hang on to this fight or not. The damage output's pretty good, though. Counter Nuke ends up bouncing back, which is always a plus as well. 2,000 free damage is... You'd be like, it's not a lot of damage. Like, every little bit really helps in this fight.
Yeah, I think this is Blue Cat Loach's race to lose at this point. But if he plays like well and doesn't rush, it should be okay.
Yeah, I mean the big thing is that if you can just like at this point in time, it might be if your mages die because that was a non-nerf Big Bang. You just need to. The nice thing here is that if you can just get your Porum and your Kayn across the line, you've gotten through most of the fight already, so you're probably in good shape.
Should still be very careful about those unnerved Big Bangs. If Porum gets down and your fighters are busy, it could get dicey.
Yeah, I mean, we got Black Hole, so did not push all the way into Meteor yet. So still above about 12,000 health remaining here. So, is going to take the time to Zerk up Kayn here and then use Palom as a chemist instead. So going to throw a Cure 3 at Porum. So getting reset while Peasants get started here. Gonna try to life Rydia, so I guess wants to have maybe one last fire and one last shot of fire in the chamber here. Heals up Porum just in time for her to get immediately microwaved to death. Ooh, that looked painful.
Ooh.
But the agility is pretty good. Things aren't looking super sketchy right now. It's just a matter of, do you try to life up your Porum here, or do you try to fire off a direct nuke and maybe try to push the fight? Is going to try to play this one. Again, very deliberate, very safe. It's going to be a life and a Cure 3. Kayn is kind of doing the damage right now. Going to use a Veil on Sid, so going to maybe try to punch out a little bit of extra damage from Rydia here. Going to also channel out a Cure 4. Or, nope, going to skip that and decide to pass the turn. Or going to hold for a minute while deciding whether it's going to see a shake or Big Bang or a shake or Meteo, because if it's a shake, then maybe has to heal and think about doing a little bit more damage. If it's Meteo, then Kayn doing work is going to be more than enough. It looks like it's going to be Meteo. Kayn's taking a couple of swings, but no, it's going to be a shake here. We could have the very bad ending, which would be Big Bang directly into Meteo. On second thought, did enough damage to push through. Does not get Meteo. That last swing pushes over. So now it's just a matter of, this is actually going to be bad. Kayn gets nuked. This could be problematic. Porum gets nuked. It's also pretty bad.
Nice. Perfect.
Palom taking one for the team like a champ. Oh, that's exactly what you wanted to see there. Kayn's job here is to get us over the line. And he's Zerked, and he's actually hitting hard enough. So you can basically put the controller down at this point. Kayn's going to be fine. He's going to get us home.
There it is. Blue Cat Loach is the winner of this game 1 at a time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, 35 seconds.
Yeah, Peasants is set up for a pretty clean fight here. Did end up taking Rydia all the way to nuke as well. So both kids firing off the microwave here. So on a pretty hybridized strategy here.
I think unless something like dramatically goes wrong in Peasant's side, I think Peasants also has this.
I mean, there's a reason Peasants has a top 4 finish belted, certainly. He is a great runner. Just happens to be that maybe grinding first beat grinding second.
And we're joined by Blue Cat Loach here in the booth. Hello, GG's, Blue Cat Loach.
Thank you.
So, what did you think of this interesting seed? We'll just call it that.
It was definitely a seed. I think I'd probably call this one exercise in Murphy's Law.
Fair. So we were wondering here in the booth, what was your thought process for choosing to grind at 9 key items as opposed to trying to get the crystal for 10?
Well, I left that save back on Earth, and so I decided to check the boss that was in Value Cave, and I saw it was Valvalis. I forgot that was one of those places where you can hit her with magic, but even with that, she's still a pretty tough boss even there. So I figured, you know what, I'll do my grind first. That way I can just kind of power through her.
That's fair. That makes sense. Absolutely. So, what did you think about that wonderful, wonderful Wyvern at Ordeals?
It was the second moment in the seed where I thought I was done for.
The second? What was the first?
That Baron and Guard fight. Just that astronomically low roll that Eddie took on the first attack.
Oh, right. The one where they kept meeting Edward, right?
Yeah, and then I figure, okay, stay calm. I just got to trigger another size counter. And I just, my timing was just so horrible on that.
Well, I think you played the seed, like, just very, very well. You managed to deal with all the threats, and your decisions made you get the win. So congratulations and GG.
Thank you.
Did you have any questions, Demarin?
So, you're not really a favorite in this matchup, it feels like. Peasants has got all this experience and everything. Do you feel like you've got what it takes to win game 2? Do you feel like you're going to take this one down at this point?
Well, I know he's a great runner, and he's going to come back with a vengeance. So I think if I can step up my game, then, you know, I might be able to make it onto the round of 32, or even better yet, maybe even free up my weekend.
I guess we shall certainly see.
So, do you have any last thoughts you wanted to share with the booth?
I know, just big thanks to the Restream team. I know this is a pretty awkward hour to restream at, and so kudos to that.
Well, it's 5 p.m. here. But yeah, GG's again. Blue Cat Loach, and we will see you in your next match.
Absolutely.
And we're joined by Peasants. Hello there, and GG's.
Hello, thank you very much.
So, what did you think of that seed? That was something else, wasn't it?
I mean, I personally wasn't a fan of the majority of it, but it wasn't super, super bad. I just made a lot of mistakes. Like, it was just a lot.
I mean, it's like high end tournament play. I can see like the nerves or like rushing to do things really quickly could like be like costly. It happens.
I don't even know if it was nerves. It was just like I just was making mistakes, and I was like I need to fix these, and then I just kept making more and more. Like it was never ending.
To be fair, the Wyvern was pretty rude to your opponent as well. It was just like terrible all around.
Oh yeah, I just got left after seeing it. I was like, nah, probably won't do that. That was most of the overworld. Just me leaving it, being like, nah, I don't want to do this.
Honestly, fair. Like leaving it for the last objective. Like that's there. That's almost as good as having defeated Wyvern. So nothing was ever deals, thankfully. So
yeah, I was banking on it.
Like, what's the thought? Like, when you make such a huge play, like, I'm going to fake this check. Do you like? Is it like always gnawing in the back of your mind, like, oh, this is darkness, I lost, this is darkness, or were you like, just like, I'm going to clear everything I can and then come back and hope this is nothing important?
Yeah, it was basically like I'd already spent significantly more time on the overworld than what I usually would, or what I was, honestly planning to, and it got to the point where I was like, well, I don't care. I'm not going back up ordeals. I didn't find a headband anywhere either, so I was like, it's nothing's going to change. It's still going to be bad. So went up there, and then Evil Wall super sucked. So I was like,
yeah.
I didn't really know what the right choice was. Nothing was the right choice.
That seems to be the consensus, that nothing was the right choice, and you just had to do your best, pretty much. Yeah. Well, I guess Dwarf Castle was the only thing you could have said that it was the right choice, but then.
Mm-hmm. But then I lost anyway on the Earth, so.
I mean, it's like really easy to focus on all the mistakes you made, and like only say, oh, I lost, this is bad or whatever. But you played fantastically. You're still C28 for a reason, and you're so good at this game. So improving is important, but also focus on the great things you did this set.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, I'm not gonna take it too much. Like, I'll take it in my stride. It's I obviously wasn't planning on the mistakes, but I mean, it happens. It's something you just got to reset afterwards. I think even with the way I wasn't happy with the way I played, if I got the grind on the first try, like I just couldn't get it. I was counting. I'm not a good counter apparently. I can't count to 72. It seems. But I missed the ground like 3 times, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna find it. Like, was what I should have done the first time I missed it. Just walk around, because I can run. So it was the smarter idea. But yeah, that ate up a lot of time in general, which wasn't super ideal. But yeah. I did do the right amount of max to get Radir to 50. Like, I was counting there, but I just wasn't counting whilst I was getting the grind.
I admit I was cheering for the possibility of doing behemoths plus boxes, but that didn't happen.
I mean, it was a possibility. It just seemed like probably the right choice to do like max, but behemoths did cross my mind. But I knew that I had to go down to get Wyvern to get 10 key items, and going back up to the moon, it's like, what am I doing?
Fair. Yeah. There were like a couple ways to manage that fight.
Yeah, and the order of operations maybe forced your hand a little bit, because you did have to come back for Wyvern. So it makes sense at the end of the day. It's just, yeah, not getting the grind 3 times ended up being basically the difference. Like, not getting the grind for 2 minutes cost you 2 minutes.
2 minutes. That's exactly right.
I think that the next race between you two is going to be very exciting. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I hope to bring it to a game 3. But yeah, I knew that there was definitely a big possibility that I would lose this race. I raced against Blue Cat in a few in races, and they did great. So like I definitely wasn't coming into this unprepared. It's just what happens, you know.
Yeah. So
great racer, nothing.
So Demery, did you have any questions?
No, I do not.
Any last thoughts on the experience, Peasants?
I hope to come into it just clean up my play a little bit, and probably try not to get a little bit tilted as what I felt midway through the seed, and then come back reset. But other than that, yeah, nothing else. Thank you very much for the restream and the commentary, guys. I look forward to looking it back.
Sure. GG's again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Well, Alchemy, we've come to the end of the road here. Day's done. Race is over. What a good one, though. This one was definitely a keeper.
Yup. And this morning event may be over, but the free enterprise ride continues. Not only do we have races throughout the city that aren't being restreamed that you can catch and chat about live in the restream, we do have a next restream race, IQ versus Rex Roll at 5 p.m. in this channel.
That should be a good one. Baka Shinobi and Game Boy F9 on the call. But yeah, come back, hang out on the flagship because, you know, the races aren't going to stop for a while. Round of 64 is still flowing. Week 2 of Round of 64 just getting started. So there should be a ton of good races up and coming. So watch them all or don't. We'll be on YouTube later. Watch them later if you want. It's a lot.
Yeah, don't bring out, but have a lot of fun with the races and the community. And I think this is all there is for us this morning. Thanks a lot, everyone, for watching.
Yeah, there's no one out there, so we're just going to sign off today. So again, we'll see y'all hopefully at 5 p.m. tonight. Again, on behalf of Firebird Lover and on behalf of Smapey handling the tracking and restream, and of course for the Discord Legend Alchemy. I am Demarine2, and I'll see y'all next time.
See ya.